Top 10 World Superpowers. Hello, Displorers. Welcome to another informative video presented to you by Displorer, and thanks for watching. In this video, we shall count down the top 10 world superpowers. A superpower is a state with a dominant position characterized by its extensive ability to exert influence or project power on a global scale. Alice Lehman Miller defines a superpower as a country that has the capacity to project dominating power and influence anywhere in the world, and sometimes in more than one region of the globe at a time, and so may plausibly attain the status of global hegemony. This is done through the combined means of economic, military, technological, and cultural strength, as well as diplomatic and soft power influence. The term was first applied in 1944 during World War II to the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union. The world's most powerful countries are the ones that consistently dominate news headlines, preoccupy policymakers, and shape global economic patterns. Their foreign policies and military budgets are tracked religiously, and when they make a pledge, at least some in the international community trust they will keep it. The 2020 Best Countries Rankings, published by US News and World Report, looks at the influence of a nation, as well as its political, economic, and military power. The rankings are part of its annual Best Country study, which evaluates 80 countries based on responses from 21,000 people. From the recent ranking, we'll be enumerating in this video the top 10 countries which are considered world superpowers. But first, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Number 10. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia fell one place compared to last year when it was ranked 9th. US News calls it the giant of Middle East because of its landmass and its importance for Muslims. Millions of devout Muslims from around the world participate in the pilgrimage to Mecca each year, which not only draws in the large population but indicates the country's influence. Besides being the capital of the Muslim world, Saudi Arabia is also one of the countries which are most rich in oil and other natural resources, which has given the country not only a great bargaining world power, but also some privileges when it comes to determining, setting and influencing world oil prices, which is one of the economic strengths a world power should possess. Hence, Saudi Arabia's economic, financial, and energy strengths, together with its role as a custodian of Islam's two holiest mosques, has given them a natural leadership strength, not only in the Muslim world, but garnered world dominance as well as using that oil money. Number 9. South Korea. To get the global power status, South Korea has grown its material and demographic resources, as well as its soft power in the form of an attractive political and cultural image. Improving one spot from last year, South Korea was ranked 10. The country boasts of the 13th biggest economy, with its rate of growth overshadowing that of the Western world. South Korea's military is also very impeccably strong, given military service is mandatory, making the country extremely competitive and strong globally, as much as it is developing. Despite the pandemic, terrorism, and religious cults which are the threats, the nation, which has so much crisis management experience, has remained calm and disciplined. On the international front, South Korean diplomats safeguard the national interest by skillfully negotiating with world powers and dictatorships. Generally, South Korea is backed by military strength with a hyper-competitive attitude, which is well-known South Korean trait. Number 8. Israel. Maintaining its previous position, Israel ranked 8th on the global superpower scale using its strengths in high-tech and military. For its relatively small size, the country has played a large role in global affairs with a strong economy, landmarks of significance to several religions, and strained relationships with many of its Arab neighbors. Even though Israel makes no cars of its own, the world's top auto security companies are all Israeli. The country also receives roughly 1/5 the world's global private investment in cybersecurity. As an independent and state-sponsored hacker wreak havoc, Israel continues to revolutionize its military and lead the way in the field. Israeli Defense Force recruits the best and brightest coders and hackers as teens to funnel them into an allied cyber warfare unit. Besides high-tech, the Israeli army is considered the largest HR organization because of the service's compulsory nature. Number 7. Japan. Japan was expected to eventually surpass the economy of the US, which never happened, but Japan is a superpower in terms of large-scale influence. Japan's food, electronics, automobiles, music, video games, and anime have placed Japan on the 7th spot on the world superpower scale. US News calls it one of the world's most literate and technically advanced nations. Because of its lack of nuclear weapons or global ambitions, but dominance in world insurance and banking, Japan has been described as a soft power superpower. Japan, despite being the second largest world economy, spends less than Austria and Malta on defense, making its military almost non-existent, but the people of Japan prefer this. The country relies on technological and financial clouds for world dominance, which is working out pretty well for it. Number 6. France. An old power with the vanish of modernity, France was able to maintain its position as the 6th world superpower. According to the US News, it is difficult to overstate the influence France has on the world, both in the past and today. Located in Western Europe, France is one of the world's oldest countries, and its reach extends around the globe through science, politics, economics, and perhaps above all, culture. The election of Emmanuel Macron propelled France to becoming the #1 soft power, given its ability to encourage collaboration and build networks and relationships. France's diplomatic network, its cultural richness, and Macron's policies on integration have given the country's #1 position on the soft power index, hence increasing its world superpower status. Number 5. United Kingdom. The UK was also ranked 5th thanks to its being a highly developed nation that exerts considerable international economic, political, scientific, and cultural influence, as the US News puts it. It's also noted that the country's vote to leave the European Union ushered in anxiety about the country's role on the global stage. In recent generations, there have been few causes to which the British government has not found it worthy enough to commit troops. Such a consistently prominent world role surely implies that Britain is a superpower, attesting to its world dominant status. The UK is a superpower with a huge population, an economy worth trillion, and a sophisticated military, many millions strong. Besides its military powers, since the colonial era, the UK retains an extensive global soft power. Through the English language, it has continued to enhance its influence through literature, music, films, BBC, and British Council, maintaining trade and prosperity. With a permanent seat on the UN Security Council along 4 others, as well as being one of the 9 nuclear powers, this solidifies its seat as one of the top 5 world superpowers. Number 4. Germany. Before World War II, Germany was nowhere near a superpower. The German power rests primarily on the country's economic strength, but that was strong enough to give it the 4th spot. Germany is the most populous nation in the European Union, possesses one of the largest economies in the world, and has seen its role in the international community grow steadily since reunification, which gives the country status, influence, and certain independence in its decision-making. Besides, Germany came through the global financial crisis in better shape than most European countries. Number 3. China. China is home to one of the world's oldest civilizations, and is the world's most populous, and is one of the world's largest countries. This alone did not qualify China to keep the 3rd position in global superpower rankings, but economics and high-tech did. China is a major economic power, and its GDP in purchasing power terms was expected to be 40% higher than the US by the end of 2020 by the International Monetary Fund. It has world-class companies, a world leader in many of the technologies of the future, including artificial intelligence. What's more, with its heavy investments financially, infrastructurally, and technologically in countries around the world, especially Africa and Asia, China is garnering the kind of world dominance and influence most nations can only dream of. Number 2. Russia. What is the result of a country having a strong and huge military, economic liberty, social influence, and high-tech dominance? And the answer is world dominance, or becoming a world superpower. Hence, it's no wonder that Russia was also ranked 2nd on the rankings of world superpowers. The scale of Russia is difficult to imagine, US News said. It is the world's largest country by landmass, nearly twice as big as Canada, the world's 2nd largest nation, and covers all of Northern Asia and much of Eastern Europe. It shares land borders with more than a dozen countries and shares sea borders with Japan and the United States. To add to all of this, it has a large market, an impeccable military strength, economic powers fostered by the presence of numerous natural resources, and political strength powered by Russia's strongman and leader, Vladimir Putin. Number 1. United States. The US retains its position as the world's most powerful country, thanks to having the world's most dominant economic and military power, as well as a cultural imprint that spans the world thanks to its production of movies, TV, and music. When former President Donald Trump was elected, his positions on immigration and trade raised questions around the world, including from the country's closest allies, about the nation's future course on the global stage. But with the election of Joe Biden, it seems normalcy is being restored, leading to the country solidifying its number one spot. With large resources of minerals, energy, metals, and timber, the US world dominance effect is just starting. The country's high living standards, with accessibility to a highly advanced manufacturing sector and global corporations, the US runs the world. Besides these, the US dollar has served as a dominant world reserve currency on the Bretton Woods Conference. There you have it, explorers. Those were the top 10 superpowers. Thanks for watching this video. And if you did enjoy this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.